All right, welcome to another episode of Ruggers. Francois, today we look at the week, the news of the week and everything. We've finished with Ducks winning the Varsity Cup. The weekend's rugby, you attended the Bulls and Stormers.
Yes, and what a game. That's all I can say. I think in my post-match article, basically sum it up, the Bulls dominated possession, dominated territory. Stormers, on the other hand, scored in the few occasions that we were allowed into the Bulls' quarter, and scored effectively, which kept the scoreline going. And the Bulls snatching victory from the Stormers in literally the last minute of the game. And I was thinking, had the Bulls taken I think it was 3 kicking opportunities, penalty kicking opportunities, that they decided to go for the line, I think the score they would have been in the lead quite sooner, and taken the pressure off themselves from trying to finish the way that they had to finish. And I must give them, compliment them on the way they finished. They stuck to their guns and pulled it through.
The other game was the Lions and the Sharks. The Lions won the first 10 minutes, hands down. They were all over the Sharks, and then suddenly they stopped.
And then what
playing.
happened? Yeah.
They just stopped playing. I mean, the Sharks really bullied them. Very disappointing performance. Me being a Lions supporter, one week you get a brilliant Lions team that beats the Bulls, and the next weekend they
hot and cold.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, the guys are trying their best. Cash and Sean and those guys are doing their best. But it's just difficult to understand. I mean, playing like that, you will never get anywhere close to playoffs and that. You must perform consistently, and the Lions at this stage doesn't do it.
Unfortunately. But let's see.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, the Sharks host the Bulls. And the winner, the Bulls only need a bonus point to qualify for the final in Italy.
They've got 20 points on the log at the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, they without 4 players. Oh, no, they were not without. They only lost Dwayne because the others can still play. Yeah. I think the Bulls, if I look at from a South African viewpoint, are the best to go and play in Italy, because the Sharks are losing 10 players that won't be available to travel to Europe because of their Springbok commitments.
Unfortunately for the Sharks, unfortunately for the Springboks, but I think, and we did discuss it in our previous program, that dilemma of shortage of players now. But yes, I agree with you. Bulls, I think we can all agree, has been consistent in terms of their performance throughout the competition so far, bar the one loss. I think they have it in them to pull it through. It's our best chance from a South African perspective in terms of getting our first Pro 14 victory.
But are the Bulls really the best team in South Africa at this stage? They lost to the Lions. They just won against the Stormers. The last 3 or 4 weeks was not good for them.
Yes, I suppose you have a point there. But then again, the Ruggers is opinion-based. Sure. Anyway, my gut feel is, if you wanted to call it my gut feel is I'll be punting for the Bulls, definitely.
On Saturday?
On Saturday, definitely, yeah. As our team to go and wave the flag, South African flag at the Pro 14 final.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit doubtful. I think the other teams has caught up with the Bulls. But let's see. Whatever team goes to Europe, we'll support them all the way. And then the biggest team is the Springbok team was announced.
Yes.
Jacques Nienaber, after I think 18 months, is going to coach for the first time for the Springboks. We're going to play 2 tests against Georgia, and they said that they're going to pick the strongest team for the first 2 tests.
Definitely.
So poor Georgia, and thereafter we're going into the British and Irish Lions.
Yes.
How do you feel about the team?
I think I'm very positive. If you look at the selection of players, it's all the stalwarts are there from the World Cup final, and I mean, why not? They've proven themselves there. Why fix something that's not necessarily broken? Yes, one can argue it's been how many years since the 2019, and we had a lull in rugby due to COVID last year, but with the right preparation, and they alluded to that in the interview in terms of the whole structured plan and how they're going to bring in the players systematically and start working with them again. But then again, also no player is from what I understand, is going to be insured or guaranteed a position. They still need to prove themselves in running up to for final selection of the test teams for the Lions. So, but overall, I'm positive.
Yeah, the team is positive. I don't think there's many players that should have been there. Maybe one or two. Marcel Coetzee's name was called. Lisa Gaboko from the Lions, the prop was named. The Lions only have Wandisile Simelane in the whole group, which is fair. What surprised me was the Bulls has got only 4 players, and they're the dominating side. So the problem I've got is we're sitting with a situation where Russia and them, I don't want to say they didn't look at local rugby, but they chose to ignore what's happening on the local front.
And looking at historical results.
Yeah, we do understand why they do it and everything, because they need to win. But my problem is the Springboks and management are sending out a message that the guys playing in South Africa is not their first choice of players. There's 23 local players, there's 23 foreign players. For the first time, I think the next time we're picking a Springbok team, the majority will be from foreign base. And that's wrong. Kobus Wiese, no, what's his Wiese? Yeah, he was now, he's making his debut from outside. Dweba's making his Nicolaas Janssen van Rensburg is making his debut, and that's wrong. I feel there must be a rule. Previously it was you must play a certain amount of tests before you're allowed to go outside of South Africa and go and play there. And that was also, now it's not there anymore. So there's no reason why local players should stay in South Africa.
Exactly. But the fact is, it's the money factor. As long as the salary is going to be bigger over overseas, then that's where they're going to be. And that we've discussed it in our previous program in terms of budgeting and budget caps in terms of who can. Yeah, and Rassie said it. He said if we could play our players more, we'll have them and keep them local.
I don't think we'll have all of them local, because some of the guys left South Africa because they couldn't
get playing opportunities
Fair enough. In South Africa.
Fair enough.
But personally, I feel South African players, if there's a doubt between 2 players, the South African guy
should get preference.
And there's a lot of guys. I mean, Koenie Oosthuizen is. I don't know. That's my problem. I mean, Rassie, I don't want to say Rassie, he's not the coach anymore. He's now the director. Jacques is the coach. But Rassie is the coach. Yeah, it's the wrong message sent out to the players. We didn't look at Schikkerling. He names players of South Africa that's injured and everything. That was also not the best players.
Yes.
I mean, he named Murat, that was definitely not part of the best locks in South Africa.
Still a very young player.
That's my gripe. I mean, Rassie is going to stand in front of the, what do they call it, fire peloton, if he fails and lose to the Lions.
Firing squad.
Yeah, the firing squad. But he said yesterday, the time for excuses is finished. So he admits, the way he picked his side, there's no excuses to be made.
Got to win the game.
Yeah,
got to win the game.
But we're all Springboks at the heart. I think we must support the Springboks. To ask Rassie now, why didn't you pick this player? Why did you pick that player? If I was the coach, jeepers, I think South Africa would have started voting for the EFF, because that would have given them a better opportunity of the rugby. But I think that's a message, is support the Springboks.
Support the Springboks all the way.
That's it, done.
Got to. Lions tour only once every 12 years. We have to get behind the boys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.